She's in here somewhere. If anybody finds her, make sure she doesn't get hurt.
Very romantic, Cody.
Now be careful. These things are like a bad, fucked up George Jetson nightmare. Move out. Go that way.
Oye, Flavio. Take a couple Razorheads, go up to the library. I hear they got the new Ann Beatty novel.
No shit. Been wanting to read that. Who's got a library card?
I got my library card. Move out. Go that way.
I remember in junior high, man. You kicked ass.
Yeah, I thought you were pretty bad yourself, Essay.
Let's go show Ms. Kindness exactly what we've learned.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Have you ever been in an institution? Cells.
Cells.
Do they keep you in a cell? Cells.
Cells.
When you're not performing your duties, do they keep you in a little box? Cells.
This causes it. This causes it. This causes it. Information overload. All the electronics around you poisoning the airwaves.
You are listening to the High Tech Low Life podcast, a cyberpunk media retrospective. High Tech Low Life contains language and themes not suitable for all audiences, as well as spoilers for the content being covered. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the High Tech Low Life podcast, everybody. Wow, I'm really loud with this one. With your hosts, Eric and Josh. My name's Eric.
I'm Josh.
This week, we are covering the film Class of 1999, and we're not alone.
We're not. We have our own robot teacher with us. His name is Stan. I don't know how Stan wants to be introduced on a podcast that he isn't the one who is sort of in charge of. So I'll just go Stan. Go.
I like to be introduced well.
Okay. Well, sorry, we failed in that.
I'm Stan. I'm the Stardaddy, aka Game Master of the Astronomica podcast, which is a Stars That Number actual play. You guys have heard Jeff has been on you guys before.
Yeah, he's definitely been on us guys before.
We've both been to Astronomicons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're trying to collect the whole set. We've got two Astronomicers now.
Yeah.
I think they're all available pretty much 24/7. So
nice.
We gotta figure out kind of what's in everybody's wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. Well, you nailed mine with
Did we?
Class of 1999 is very much my. I'm from the Class of 1999, so.
That helps.
Are you, Josh?
Yeah.
You're 98, right?
Yeah,
I'm 97, so we got the upper 90s covered.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a second, but
this movie, we specifically thought of this movie and the other choice we had that we gave you because Jeff, when he was on like 6 or 8 months ago, said, I think he was talking about our Cyber Vengeance episode, and he said, "Oh, Stan liked that kind of garbage."
I liked Upgrade. I think that's about it.
Upgrade was good.
Upgrade was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. I think Jeff just he wanted me to have to watch something shitty.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay, yeah.
Well, and you have, but
next time you come on, you can watch something good. I mean,
do you have any good movies left? I feel like.
Oh yeah,
dude, we've been avoiding them.
we don't want to do 6 months of good movies and stuff, and then have the rest of it turn into fucking how did this get made?
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right.
We've got to mix it slowly because there are a lot more very bad cyberpunk adjacent movies than there are very good ones. We haven't touched The Matrix yet, for fuck's sake.
Oh, all right.
No, and we're just getting started on the Blade Runner oeuvre.
Yeah, but have you done the Matrix sequels? Because
I know that's the problem. Like, we should do those first.
Yeah, get those out of the way.
Hey, I will go to bat for Resurrections.
All right.
You will.
I wasn't a fan, but I appreciate the politics at least.
I mean, the other two sequels. Yeah.
Oh, is Resurrections the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely the second best. I'll agree there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go to bat for it, but I appreciate a good Gremlins 2ing anytime it happens.
God, and we can cover Gremlins 2. Gremlins 1, we can't, but Gremlins 2, we can.
Yeah. It's
That
got
one becomes lightning.
exactly.
That's true. That's basically an AI. You're right.
And we can also cover the Key and Peele sketch. What if one of them was just stupid as fuck? He's got those dumb big eyes.
Yeah. So the point is that if, like, I don't know. Well, I mean, it's our process, and it's hard to cover the movies that people want us to without blowing our wad early. So
Right.
put it really,
We also have a reasonable selection of like good but not great stuff that
like Upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are more fun to do, honestly, than the bad ones or the good ones. Sometimes the good ones are a little. You feel like we're out of our depth.
I don't know what you're talking about. Fucking Class of 1999 was 10 out of 10 for me.
Well, I mean, Nemesis for me was close.
It had bionic tetas.
You did.
It did.
I prefer a bad movie, an honestly bad movie, to a deliberately bad one.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a fan of like Sharknado or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
So I appreciated Class of 1999 for its intentionality.
Yeah.
But
Look, they had $15 and they needed to make a high school movie.
yeah.
I still can't get over how much I liked Nemesis. So I would recommend it's got all the hallmarks of a bad movie, but I think it's definitely worth watching. I enjoyed the shit out of it when I was fully expecting. I was expecting more of a Class of 1999, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it gelled up to something much better than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, and there's 5 sequels, so
yeah, excited to get to those.
I'm trying to picture I'm seeing Species. Which one's Nemesis?
the covers are kind of similar.
Yeah,
Nemesis is what's his name? Oliver
Grunier.
It's French, so probably
like
Olivier Grunier or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Oliver Grunier, for sure.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
Him.
Kidding.
President Grenier. We all know who he is. And nobody else. The guy from Karate Kid 3. Okay, anyway. Nemesis. Check it out.
Highly recommended. I mean, 1993, definitely worth every second of watching it. It is the best version of a movie that cost $150. And
much like this film, all of that money went to explosions.
Yeah.
They blew up a lot of shit. Okay, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's talk about first the other things we talk about. First of all, what awful, horrible things have happened in the world in the last week that we need to discuss because people are desperately waiting to hear what we have to say about it?
Let's see. Still waiting for a declaration of war on the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be coming soon.
Yeah, God. One can hope. Let's see. A couple of U.S. soldiers got blown up in Yemen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Sounds right. I'm not fact checking you in real time, but
yeah, a couple of 3 U.S. soldiers got blown up in Yemen. So obviously that means we should go to war with Iran and also help the Israelis kill more Palestinians because we're big, strong, tough guys. Let's go. I don't know.
Ukraine thing too. That's also still going.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I think
it's a plan.
That sounds right. Yeah.
That's the plan. Let's do it. On 3, 1, 2, 3, break.
I don't know where we're going, but we're on our way.
That's a really good way to put it. I don't know where we're going, but we are on our way. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, other than the usual threats of World War III, which have just become like a dull roar in the background, it has been kind of a quiet week, I guess. I hope I'm not missing something blatantly obvious that's just glazed past my brain.
Recently, you probably covered this last week, but the first human with Elon Musk's chip brain.
We didn't cover that.
You're right. Yeah, that was after we recorded. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Just one more to toss on the pile of dead monkeys in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Is it legit though? Did he really, or is it just like?
I mean,
yeah.
Who knows? It's
the
I haven't read about who the guy is or anything. I know the original. They got it cleared for human testing, and like the original subjects were supposed to be people with handicaps. So I don't know if that. I don't know about this guy, but I don't know. Knowing Elon Musk, I have some very dark and dire concerns about that.
Yeah.
You do? You do? Huh.
Yeah, there's no evidence for that happening.
Yeah.
No, the best video I saw about it was my wife sent it to me. It was a guy saying, when you can only afford the version of Neuralink with ads. Just a dude with his eyes rolled back and the O'Reilly theme song playing. It's very fun.
O'Reilly.
It is. Yeah, I guess thank you for reminding me. Not only that, but the fucking Apple Vision Pro headset came out in the past week.
That's true. There's some cyberpunk shit happening.
So we are just being propelled full speed ahead into a really terrible cyberpunk dystopia.
I think each of you should get one and compare.
Once our Patreon gets
I call Apple Vision Pro.
Damn it.
You can have the Neuralink.
That's so slow. I don't want to go on the monkey pile, Josh.
Look, you'll end up on the Rainbow Bridge sooner or later.
No, the Vision Pro, like, man, I've read reviews on it. It looks dumb. It's way overpriced, but just like I'm seeing videos online of people using it, and it looks very cool.
I for one am very excited to be run over by an idiot driving a fucking cyber truck with one of those on his face.
I'm just glad somebody finally invented Google Glass. It's about time.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, seems like it's been in the air for a while, and just nobody's managed to come up with something.
Well, you just have to put that Apple on it. That'll get people to buy it.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes cool. So. Yeah, what a week for Cyberpunk, man. Thank God Stan was here to remind us.
Yeah, no shit.
We are bad at seeing our own society falling apart around us.
You guys would have lost a lot of cred not calling that out.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we honestly would have heard about it on Twitter, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You mean X.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Elon, Papa Elon.
Yeah.
Give us those free
Elon
blue
feels
checks.
strongly about respecting, like, not calling things by their dead name and stuff. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's huge for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I guess we can push on to our recommendo section, where we talk about things we've been watching and we want other people to know about. I'm going to let you guys start because I haven't thought about it at all.
I do have something because I started keeping that spreadsheet a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago.
yeah, smart. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched the Amazon Mr. and Mrs. Smith series.
Oh, really?
A thing that doesn't seem to have any reason to exist. But on the other hand,
there's the runaway success of the Mr. and Mrs. Smith franchise started by the film.
Yeah.
Stars Donald Glover and Maya Erskine, and it is really fucking good.
Nice.
I heard it was.
Yeah,
It's another one that's got such heavy rotation in social media that makes me doubt it.
I was shocked at how good it was, and it's not just like, hey, it's a good action show. Like, it strikes a really fucking good balance of sort of like, did you Did you end up watching Poker Face earlier in the year, the Natasha Lyonne show?
I did.
I did not. No.
Okay, so one of the things I really liked about Poker Face was that, I don't know, 10 episodes, something like that. It was like there was sort of a meta plot going on, but it was mostly an episodic thing. I can easily describe, the episode where, the one at the barbecue restaurant, or
yeah, it was
the
really
one
smart. The season premiere and the season finale tie together really tightly.
Yeah,
but like the episodes in the middle of the season, you can watch in any order.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was really episodic that way, and like the Mr. and Mrs. Smith show does the same thing, which is such, like, at least to me, it's such a goddamn relief, because so many shows ever since, I guess, the success of, I don't know, Lost, are doing the constant, like, we need to drip plot out in every episode, and they all have to tie together, and it's some big whatever. And a lot of the time, shows aren't actually very good at doing that.
Right.
And this one, they're like, yeah, we've got this evolving relationship between the main characters, but we're also going to have an episode where we're just dragging Ron Perlman around the Italian Alps.
Ron Perlman's in it.
Yeah.
He's also in Poker Face.
He was also in Poker Face, now that I think about it. Yeah.
Speaking of Monkey Pile.
Yeah. Fucking Monkey Man.
I'll say, I prefer everything having continuity to nothing having continuity, which is how it was when I was growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would.
But I do appreciate a good episodic show when it comes along.
Yeah, I like that. It's really, anymore, it is such a breath of fresh air. Just like, oh, shit. Man, that's nice. It's got like a conclusion at the end of the episode. Fuck. But yeah, it also has a whole bunch of like 1 or 2 episode guest star people. So it's definitely worth fucking watching. Oh, and by the way, Amazon has ads now. I had forgotten about that until I turned it on.
Right.
I've actually been avoiding watching things on Amazon because of
that. They were not as intrusive as I was worried about yet.
Like how many for an hour-long show?
I honestly don't know. It didn't. I mean, I think it was like at most 30 seconds, and then like I think I watched like 2 or 3 episodes before I saw another ad. So, I mean, it's not. I was really expecting they'd be like drop in the middle of the show ads.
Yeah,
that's
pretty soon
after you've gotten used to it.
Probably. Yeah, I'm assuming that will be the case, but
pretty soon Amazon shows are going to start, like the old shows, building in the commercial breaks
right
to their filming just to make it flow better. I hate it so much. I kind of don't want to watch anything on Amazon because of it.
Well, pirate it.
Yeah, or I think uBlock Origin might block Amazon ads. It definitely blocks Tubi ads and YouTube ads. The only thing it doesn't block is Twitch. Twitch has this special way of presenting ads that ad blockers don't get. It's a good program. Check it out. That's my recommendation.
I can't hear Poker Face without going back to my stand-up comedy roots and saying, I hardly know her face.
That's a good bit. I mean, I don't see how you could resist. You ought to keep that in rotation.
Yeah. I watched Folding Ideas on YouTube. He's the guy that did Line Go Up, the mini doc about NFTs.
I started watching that and then got distracted and never came back. I was meant to go back to that.
It's very good. Although now that NFTs have exploded, it's somewhat less relevant. But I watched his, he did one called This is Financial Advice, and it's about the GameStop, like meme stock phenomenon. And it got me up to speed. It was real good.
I watched the movie based on...
I was going to say, I wonder if it's better than the movie. It's probably more factual than the movie.
I think it's probably a good companion piece. I haven't watched the movie yet either. Kristen, who's on Astronomica, watched the movie, and we had a conversation about it. And then I saw this pop up, and because my suspicion was always that everybody who's being portrayed as a good guy is actually a scumbag con artist.
Yeah, much like never mind, The Big Short.
Yeah. But I walked away from the Folding Ideas doc. I don't really think that of what's his name that Evan Dano plays.
Yeah,
he's just kind of he was like a small, like stock trade guy, and then tried to get into online financial advice YouTube, and happened to be right about GameStop for totally different reasons.
Sure.
And then kind of parlayed that into some success. But I don't think he was ever like, his advice was, he was advising people to buy GameStop before it went up. And then after it went up, he wasn't telling people to buy GameStop.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's good.
He stands apart from the rest of that crowd.
It's pretty much all you need to do to be a financial advisor, honestly. And it's better than 90% of financial advisors.
Yeah. You're supposed to sell it when it goes up.
I would like to watch that. I remember when that was happening, and it was fascinating. And there's always a part of you that's like, should I get in on this? But then there's the smart part of you that's like, no, you're hearing about it. It's way too late.
Yeah,
You're an idiot.
If you're hearing about it, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, by the time I heard about it, I was like 5 minutes late to where it would have been a good idea, which, still puts me 25 minutes ahead of most chumps. Right. But I'm still one of the chumps.
Yeah, anytime you get market advice that's telling you to buy something, it's always like someone has to be motivated to want you to buy it, which means they want to sell it. So,
that's why all of the crypto never stuck with me. It's like, why do they want me to buy this so bad? It doesn't make sense.
Right. Or right-wing radio constantly trying to sell you on gold, and their pitch is like, gold's the highest it's ever been. That's the worst time to buy gold.
This is a terrible time to buy gold. And you know why it's the highest it's ever been? Because 10 years of these ads.
Right.
Or 15 years of these ads, because I really remember those kicking up right around when Obama got elected.
Yeah, it's for your post-apocalypse bunker.
Yeah.
Very useful.
It's really the most valuable and useful metal you can have. It's,
you could put it on pizza, and
you could definitely put it in cocktails. I've had many with it in there. I got one quick recommendo before we move on. I watched a horror movie called "It Lives Inside."
Sorry about that.
Something's on fire. It is. It takes a lot from Indian mythology. This South Asian Indian family living in America and dealing with a ghost, with not even really a ghost, with an invisible monster. It's, I've seen enough horror movies at this point in my life that it's real. I don't really get scared, and I can't say that this one ever scared me, but it did have some creepy moments. That's about most I can hope for these days.
Yeah,
and
jump scares.
Yeah, well, this actually didn't have any jump scares, or at least not any significant ones, which I appreciate. I don't care for them, but it did have some good visuals and some mythology I wasn't familiar with.
Is the sequel to It Follows, where the thing retired?
No. The It Follows thing. Yeah. Oh shit! Is this an It cinematic universe?
Does that mean the original movie was It?
Yeah.
Well, it was It Part 1, then It Part 2, then It Followed.
Now It Lives Inside.
Yeah.
Because it's just so tired.
The ICU, baby. Man, should we do an ICU miniseries on this show?
No, we definitely shouldn't. But it was a pretty good movie. So, if you're in a mood for something spooky, check it out.
Let me ask you, does clown move fast be scary?
It does be scary.
Yeah. Yeah, Stephen King once said, I think I've used this joke before, but Stephen King once said that for the monster to be scary, it must be believed. And for it to be believed, it must be real. And then he also said, clown move fast at camera. So I respect a man of many approaches.
Look, inside you there are two wolves. One of which is real and the other is scary and move fast at camera.
All right. Is that everything you wanted to recommend, Josh?
I just have a real, I want to recommend something pretty obscure. I doubt most of our audience has heard of it. I watched it the other day and just wanted to, it's a really high quality film that I feel like I need to boost the popularity of. It's a little movie called Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Hell yeah.
Did you actually watch that again?
I did.
Why?
Because it's close to a perfect movie.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
we're going to cover it at some point.
Yeah.
Some great parallels with Class of 1999.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Inarguable.
And on the subject of Judgment Day, I have one more recommendo, which is the Holy Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Fair. Well, they're very similar.
I don't know if anybody's heard of it. It's pretty good. It's pretty wild at the end.
It was a bestseller, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and they have For Dummies books about. Oh yeah, they have For Dummies books all about it, and if you need the Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
I am going to take a pass on that one, and on Terminator 2. Just to be
someday you won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a whole plan for when we cover the Terminators.
If you can only do one, do Terminator 2. But
I might be an outlier, but man, I really like the first Terminator.
You don't like the first
I do.
Terminator? Oh, yeah.
I think I might like it more. I don't know.
Oh, it's great.
I think that's reasonable because Terminator. It's been years and years since I saw the first one, but that's a really effective fucking horror film.
Yeah, Terminator 2 only has one naked time traveler, so
that's true.
Yeah.
And I think Josh and I would both agree that Terminator 3 is kind of a sleeper.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I saw that movie. I'm inclined to say yes.
We saw that together at a theater, and I remember walking out thinking like, okay, it wasn't Terminator 2, but that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited to cover that at one point because I remember kind of liking it, even though not having it on the level of the other two. So
yeah, of course, I thought it was solid. And I saw, Terminator Salvation. I saw in the theater, and that one sucked.
Oh, good for you. Is that Salvation?
I think so. Where Christian
Bale one.
Yeah,
I thought that was Salvation.
Yeah, he was yelling at the camera or lighting guy.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
And then I thought the one with Amelia Clark in it was I could see a really good first draft before the suits got their hands on it.
I did not care for that one, and I don't.
No, yeah, it sucked. But I'm saying you could look through it and see a first draft with some ideas that I thought were interesting. But
I think the most interesting thing about the Terminator films in general is, at least in my recollection, is that, okay, so we've got Terminator 1, great little horror movie. I mean, obviously done by a guy who turns out to be a fucking amazing director for no reason, having done Piranha 2 or whatever. Then the second one is the biggest fucking action movie of all time. And then there are, 4 different versions of Terminator 3?
Yeah.
Every Terminator movie after 2 is trying to be Terminator 3.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no continuity after any.
No. And I'm back to back is the way to comprehend these films or lose our minds in the process.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna watch them when we cover the Terminators. We're gonna cover them as a block, and we're gonna watch them all at once.
Nice.
It's going to be a bad day.
It's going to be sick.
All right, this ain't a Terminator podcast. That's for 2027 or whenever we get around to it. This is a Class of 1999 podcast, and I wanted to start it with a funny anecdote of what happened to me.
Okay.
Maybe not that funny, but when you gave me the go that we were going to do this one, I was talking to my wife about it and explaining to her we're going to do about this movie from 1990 called Class of 1999. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I've seen that, or I've heard of that." And I'm like, "You have?" who's heard of Class of 99? She goes, yeah, it had Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall in it. And I was like, I think you're thinking of The Faculty.
Yeah, 100%.
Another movie that took place in a school. And she's like,
Yeah.
no, it was Class of 1999. I'm almost certain. So I went and I looked it up. I Googled Class of 1999. Let me finish. Let me tell the story.
Yeah, I know how this ends.
I Googled Class of 1999, Another Brick in the Wall. And it turns out Another Brick in the Wall in the late 90s was covered by a band called Class of 99, which was a supergroup with Lane Staley and some other people from the 90s.
Huh.
And they covered Another Brick in the Wall, where it prominently featured in the movie The Faculty.
Yes.
I don't know. It was a funny story, and we ended up both being right.
Yeah, I think, Lane Staley, Tom Morello. I don't remember who else. I'm pretty sure I have not heard that song since I walked out of the theater in 1999 having watched The Faculty.
I listened to it. It's not a good cover. I don't think Lane Staley's got a Roger Watersy voice.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess you're allowed to have that. You're allowed to think that.
Well, thank you for allowing me this one. Class of 1999. What did you guys think? We can finally get into it for real.
I think in 1992 there were 543,767 violent incidents in American high schools. In some cities, the areas around these schools were beginning to fall under the control of violent youth gangs. By 1997, the number of violent incidents had tripled. Gangs had taken control of large sections of these cities. Some schools were shut down. The year is 1999. The gang-controlled areas have become known as free fire zones. Kennedy High is located in the middle of a free fire zone. The police will not enter. There is no law. The Department of Educational Defense has been formed to reopen the schools and control the gangs.
Nailed it.
Dut.
It's a really good synopsis of what's happening, like leading up to the beginning of this movie, and nicely done off the top of your dome.
Mm-hmm. So this movie was
Yeah.
I mean, it begins pretty strong.
Let me ask. So right in the opening scroll, you have Kennedy High and the Free Fire Zone. Does anybody? Because the movie had a. First of all, it was kind of refreshing to get a movie with like right wing anxieties that wasn't like, but it wasn't like a coherent political.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like Ben Shapiro made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't know that it's right wing, but it has
just
those,
kids these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that 80s. Everybody, like, right wing was so mainstream.
Yeah, I guess so. Is the coming off of Reagan. But the high school is named Kennedy High, which feels like a jab.
Well, and Malcolm McDowell, the principal, and his daughter transferred over from Nixon High,
which I'm guessing was nicer considering how how preppy she was.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been an intentional jab.
Yeah. Interesting.
The future liberals want.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
I will say I'm more of a the designer drug in this one was called Edge.
Right.
And they said it was the best drug since skin. And
yes,
I'm a skin guy. So
you took offense to that.
I did. I mean, I agree that maybe it's the best drug since skin. I don't know. I got on skin and that was it.
But it's not better than skin. You know.
Oh man, I wonder what skin was like, because Edge looked like it was just like being really drunk.
It looked like glass, like cold medicine capsules.
Yeah, pretty much.
This movie had all the hallmarks of stuff I don't know if you ever actually made your list of cyberpunk tropes to go through, but it definitely had high tech and low life, and it definitely had drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It had a protagonist named Cody, which was the coolest name that had been invented as of 1990.
Yeah.
Where are all the Codys now?
Who knows?
Where have all the Codys gone?
In a fucking ditch.
I mean, honestly, I feel like every other kid in my elementary school was named Cody, and I haven't met a Cody at this point for 20 years.
Yeah, I think post 99 they all started going by their middle names. So
that must be the case. That is weird.
And the other cool name is Guy, which didn't make an appearance in this film, but I feel like it was a real misfire. Those are your two 90s cool names.
Cody and Guy.
Keep an eye out for those.
Yeah.
Two protagonists from Final Fight.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Played
makes
that in a
sense.
while.
Which, you know, the Mad Gear Gang, they look a lot like they're from class of 1999, I think.
Yeah. I think you're pretty right.
And the gangs were what, the Blackhearts and the Razorheads.
Yes. So pretty great band names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Razorheads made me think of Eraserhead. But they
and that
didn't
made you
get
think
into
of
that.
The Kids in the Hall?
Yeah.
Oh,
Watch
The Kids in the Hall.
Eraserhead.
Speaking of The Kids in the Hall, like this movie was basically the main character was basically a Bruce McCullough character. I couldn't.
Oh
stop
my God,
thinking
you're
about
right.
it.
Oh, you're exactly right. Shit.
I kind of want to find one. Maybe I'll tag it at the end of the episode. He had like a little rocker
Wow.
punk character, didn't he?
Yes.
He had Bruce McCullough hair for sure.
Oh my God, you fucking nailed it.
I was trying to place him the whole time, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if. I mean, I think it's highly likely that. Well, shit. This probably came out after Kids in the Hall. One of them influenced
Kids in
the
the
other.
Hall-ish. Yeah.
They would be contemporary.
And I think the director was Canadian. So he was probably aware of Kids in the Hall before they were on TV.
True.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Also, we so Josh and I watched it together on Discord, and we noted that the sidekick dude Angel. We were talking about how every time you watch one of these
The
movies,
brother, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, every time you watch one of these movies, it's always like a 20-year-old playing a 15-year-old, right?
Uh-huh.
And we all make jokes about it and get annoyed by it. But then they put Angel in this thing, and he's clearly like 16, and you're like, get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Dude, I noticed a lot of these stunts didn't look like stunts.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Even a lot of the stuff involving the PE teacher looked like he was really getting rough with some of these
was
kids.
just beating kids up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in the trivia. I haven't looked, but man, some of the shit looked brutal.
Yeah, the movie starts with flipping a truck with teenagers inside.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was Hollywood magic, but
Oh, it definitely was. I could see the dummies sitting in the truck, not
Right.
moving at all as it rolled over.
Right.
There was some good dummy work in this film, to be sure, but there was also some headlocks and stuff like that looked really painful.
Yeah. When the gym teacher is throwing the kids around on the mats in the gym.
Yeah, and they didn't look like stunt doubles.
I would not like somebody to do that to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should we to finish synopsizing the film as a whole, right? The Stacy Leach shows up with weird contacts in.
Yes.
And the whole time they make you think the whole time that the twist is that he's a robot.
He also has a blindingly white mullet. It's
He does,
terrifying.
with-
It's like a mullet
ponytail.
with a rat tail. It's fucking beautiful.
And he has a black mustache still. Don't worry about it.
Right.
And he's always eating or drinking something weird.
Something very weird.
Yeah. And he has a sidekick scientist who looks like David Cross,
Yeah.
whose name was Marvin. But Marvin has moral objections to what's happening. And anyway, they unleash these basically Terminators or Robocops as teachers.
I think you mean battle droids.
Yeah. And then the teacher robots, Robocops, for some reason are really malicious and violent, and they enjoy hurting the children.
Yes, they revert to their military programming.
Right, which seemed like a jab at vets, but maybe that was accidental.
Yeah.
I did not consider that angle.
I did think it was unrealistic that in the underfunded high school, the PE teacher wasn't also the history teacher.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just a Tennessee thing. That's what I grew
Nope.
up with.
Nope, that is definitely a thing. Eric and I both had a great history teacher who was also the football coach.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're one up on me because mine sucked.
Yeah. He
and
taught
then-
world wars and never kicked us out of the class for
Yeah, we were unruly in that class.
Yeah, it's good times.
We sat right next to this this born again Christian kid who was trying so hard to bring us to Jesus, and we were not into it.
It was not something that was going to happen.
He was really giving it his all, though.
He really was.
So there was there's one other thing I wanted to say at the beginning, but I have completely forgotten it. Man, I am looking at a modern picture of Cody Culp.
Mm-hmm.
He is different looking.
Yeah. Is Silver Fox now?
Yeah.
Totally. Also, Angel turned out like as chinless and uncomfortable to look at as he was in the film. He's a fucking hottie these days. Have you looked him up on IMDb?
Yeah, I saw him.
I gotta see.
He really grew into it.
He seriously looked like Earthworm Jim there. And
his awkward years. I remember he was in a couple things, I think. At least
we
I've
thought
seen
he
him in
was
other
the
things.
younger Pete for a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, he does kind of look like that, but yeah.
So,
and also kind of looks like McLovin.
Yeah.
It's just
Like chubby McLovin.
Oh, we haven't even mentioned that Pam Grier's in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to. Much like
Pam
how you
Grier
guys are saving
and
some good
Malcolm
movies.
McDowell. For fuck's sake.
Also, I don't know how much we're jumping around, but there's a scene where Stacey Leach meets with Malcolm McDowell, and they're in a restaurant. Keach, sorry.
Yeah.
And Keach is drinking milk, and it only occurred to me later that was a Clockwork Orange nod.
Oh shit! I didn't
Jesus
get that.
Christ, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. I do know at one point he was eating a banana for no reason.
Yeah, we clocked that he was drinking milk out of a fine goblet.
Yeah,
like through a straw, right, or something.
It did not occur to me that was a Clockwork
That's
Orange
definitely
thing.
a Clockwork
you're
Orange
absolutely
reference.
fucking right. Jesus.
And I bet Malcolm McDowell was just like cringing inside of it.
Yeah.
He
I just need this paycheck.
He apparently did literally 2 days work on this film.
Yeah, and still managed to probably be the best actor in it.
Yeah, he was fine.
I don't know,
All right.
man. Hector was carrying a lot of weight.
Actor. Okay, let's do our Josh breakdown because I know you took notes. So,
all right. So first of all, this movie starts in an incredibly cool and promising way. Mm-hmm. Exactly, they just completely stole their shit from Escape from New York. Mm-hmm. We got a robotic voiceover. We got a wireframe map of the U.S. It's giving us the layout of like the plot. And you're like, there is no way this movie can possibly live up to how much it is stealing from Escape from New York. And boy, are we right.
Yeah.
It's the same universe.
Honestly, it could be.
It very well could be.
Yeah. Okay, so the Department of Educational Defense, sure. I didn't clock that until, I don't know, I think Stacey Keach says it right at the climax of the movie.
No, he says it 3 or 4 times. They were very proud of it.
Yeah,
I hadn't clocked it before then, and then like right at the climax of the movie, he says it, and I was like, "Oh my god, that makes me want to put a gun in my mouth."
Do you think that it's a new department of the government, or do you think that they merged?
No, I think they just roll them together.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So they're trying to bring these unruly kids into line, and they have decided to recommission battle droids from the 10-year war in Nicaragua or something? Question mark. I don't know, somewhere in Central America, and give them teaching programming. And this is the first experimental high school they're going into. Malcolm McDowell's the principal. He's like, this will be great. You'll keep the kids in line. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it is mentioned that because of this experiment, and we're getting the battle teachers, we're also releasing the worst children out of prison. Yeah. We're just combining this experiment.
I had a hard time following the world building in this movie.
They had to have some real piece of shit kids to let these battle droids beat up on.
Yeah.
But they start the movie by explaining the free fire zones, which makes it sound
Explaining might be overstating it.
Yeah.
They reference.
They mention.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lawless place where anybody can be murdered at any moment, and there's a school in the middle of it, and they're like, we need to reopen this school. We definitely can't just move the fucking school.
We
Right.
have to reopen the schools for the gang kids.
Yeah. I thought it was the most absurd part was that the principal lets his daughter go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, she would be back at Nixon in the real world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, our main character, Cody Culp.
What a handsome young lad.
Yeah. Yeah, he is just fucking dreamy.
I didn't clock that his last name was Culp. I thought the guy was calling him culprit as like a slang
That makes
insult.
sense, and that's probably what they took it from, honestly.
I picked it up. I picked it
love
up my
wordplay in
second
this
time
movie.
through.
They do. This film's primarily known for its wordplay.
Yeah.
It's basically a long string of puns.
It might as well have been written by the Riddler. I mean, that's how much wordplay is going on here. Oh yeah, and also the very intro of the movie is just this weird, like, I don't know, abstract, I don't know, neon circuity faces and shit. Like, it's even before the wireframe map. It's very weird. So Cody gets out of prison because he has to go back to school. He's picked up in the parking lot of the prison by his older brother, or maybe just friend. I don't know.
He lived with them.
Friend.
Sonny? Yeah.
Slash Johnny Rotten.
Yes.
Johnny Rotten impersonator.
Yeah, that's it. That seems right. And his little brother, Angel. Both of them are wearing excessive amounts of spandex, while Cody is wearing a denim bolero. And they get into a heavily modified boat-tail Riviera.
I clocked the Riviera.
Yeah.
I think you glossed over it a little bit too much, and it needs a little bit more time spent on it. Sonny's spandex pants.
Oh, I don't think it's possible to spend enough time on those.
Yeah.
It was like a swirl of hot pinks and yellows. Like, this movie came out in 1990, but it felt more 80s than anything I've ever seen.
It felt 80s revival to me. It felt very dressing ugly on purpose in the
think
late
so?
2000s. Yeah.
I also got vibes of, remember the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the Foot Clan kids?
Yeah, and they're like arcade hideout. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Who was in that? Ed Norton. I think Ed Norton. No, Sam Rockwell was in that.
Sam Rockwell,
yeah.
that's who it is.
I just noticed on IMDb, I think if you look at the bottom of the cast, Rose McGowan is one of the small.
I spotted her. She is uncredited. She's in the history class.
Huh.
Yeah.
I missed her. I was focusing in on the neon redhead.
Yeah.
I was a fan.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also, before you skip too far ahead, you didn't even mention Cody's belt, which was like...
Oh, yes.
It was like a studded belt, but all the studs were in one place.
Half diamond studs on... Yeah, it was...
He also had a weird necklace, like with three squares.
I could not figure out what the fuck was going on with the necklace. I initially thought it was like bones.
Yeah.
And then I decided that it was tiles.
I thought for sure it would play a role at some point, like it'd shoot lasers or he'd hit somebody with it or something, but no.
Yeah. Nope. No. He just dresses weird.
Yeah.
It also, well, we've already spent enough time on it, how weird looking Angel is. Just a weird looking kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he was still a kid, I wouldn't have these comments.
No. But he's grown up now and he's a dreamboat now.
Yeah. I was a weird looking kid too. I just wasn't in cyber movies. So
he was an awkward looking kid who was dressed in extraordinarily insane outfits.
Luscious mullet.
And a bandana. Great bandana.
And he fought over drugs with his mother.
Yes.
Love them drugs.
Oh, yeah. So since he got out of prison, Cody has, I guess, gone straight edge and is like a pussy now.
Yeah.
He refuses to do edge with his boys.
And his mom.
Even though it's the best new drug since skin. And I mean, that's a
Depending
real
on who you
fucking
ask.
disappointment.
He's got classic taste like me. He was holding out for the skin.
Maybe look, someday Skin's gonna come back around, man. um, oh yeah, we also had a little meeting with the I don't know, Board of Education or something, where the robot teachers, one of them pulls his face open so you can see that he's got a robot skull.
Yeah.
The special effects in this are notably worse than they were in Nemesis.
Yeah, which is saying something. Like, this isn't a... I mean, I feel like I remember seeing trailers and stuff for this, whereas Nemesis, I feel like, was more under the radar.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
The boardroom scene was straight out of RoboCop, except it wasn't good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't have any insane robots blowing their own heads off.
Yeah.
So the director of this movie has directed some real movies, I believe. It says he directed Commando and Firestarter. Those are real movies.
Yeah.
Commando, really?
That's what that's what IMDb says.
Also, Class of 1984, the prequel or just original of this movie, starring a very, very young Michael J. Fox.
Was that the same director? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Lester. Mark L. Lester. Yeah, he's done quite a bit. So
Class of 1984. So I haven't seen it, but I assume it answers a lot of the questions that I had after this.
I'm sure.
Apparently,
Stacy Keach's contacts definitely come up in that.
Apparently, I have not seen it, but apparently it's kind of a reversal of this, where it's one of those 80s movies where teachers are being menaced by kids.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget also there's Class of 99 2 coming down the pike, The Substitute.
Yes.
And then The Faculty.
Oh.
And of course, The Substitute featuring Tom Berenger, and The Substitute 2 featuring Treat Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there was a Substitute 3 and 4, but I do not remember who was in those.
He directed Pterodactyl. 3.2 stars on IMDb. Looks like a winner.
Oof. 3.2. That, I think, is lower than Cyber Vengeance.
Yeah. Anyway, continue. Cody's back, and and they're heading to school in their Boattail Riv.
They're gonna go to school in this modified Boattail Riv. For some reason, Cody decides to drive through Razorhead's territory. That's the other big gang. We don't actually find out until like 25, 30 minutes into the movie that Cody and his team are the Blackhearts. They never refer to them by name until like 30 minutes in. It's very weird.
Yeah, and they all have the heart drawn on their cheek that looks like scar tissue or like...
Yeah, it looks like a weird mole.
Yeah.
So you kind of don't notice it.
Right.
Oh, I didn't notice it.
Yeah. So they go for a drive through Razorhead territory, and we meet our sort of one of our protagonists, guy named Hector.
Mm-hmm.
He runs the Razorheads.
Kind of an
antagonist.
Yeah.
He's an antagonist, but he comes around in the end. I don't know what the term is for that.
Yeah, they need a term for that.
I think it's called a Hector.
Redeemed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is where it began.
Okay, we'll just stick with that in the future. It's a good idea. Yeah, so Hector is a Hector. And then there's a car chase. It turns out that the Razorheads have mortars, apparently.
It's a lot of explosions.
Yes. They do fire mortars in their own neighborhood at the...
A bunch of mortars.
Yeah, it's not one mortar. They fire. Yeah. They've got 6 of them working in tandem.
Yeah, they've got seriously trained mortar teams.
But Cody is a hell of a wheelman.
Yeah, he is.
Also, a mystery why he goes through there, because, like, in the same breath, the film is trying to establish that he is going straight and trying to stay out of trouble,
trying to get out of gang life, and Angel and Sonny are like, "What are you doing? We can't go down here. This is Razorhead territory." Mm-hmm. So,
I think he's walking the line of trying to go straight but still keep his rep.
Still a bad boy.
Yeah. He's still got to like let everybody know that he's back and he's not taking no shit from these Razorheads.
Yeah. So they get to school after this car chase with multiple deaths,
typical
mortars, etc.
Typical trip to school.
Yeah, I mean, that's how my drive to high school was.
Mine was mainly just trash cans being driven over on purpose. Similar to mortar fire.
Good days. Sonny gets arrested immediately.
Immediately gets out of the car, arrested.
By the school's private police force, because remember, the police won't go there.
Yes.
Yeah, but they hire private police to beat up
off-duty
children.
cops to come and beat up kids, yeah.
Yes.
Which is
who
very
are
realistic.
Referred to as Nazi goons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's arrested for seemingly no reason immediately. It doesn't matter. I guess it's just to get him out of the picture for the day.
Yeah, they needed somebody to get beat up on.
Yeah. So
the cop comes over, or sorry, the Nazi goon comes over and wants to see. He's like demanding to look in his car, search his car. He starts yelling about a warrant, and then the thug laughs at him and hauls him off.
Yeah. Yeah. So he disappears for the next 20 minutes. We go inside the school. Apparently, all automatic weapons must be surrendered before entering school premises. I guess this means revolvers and like pump shotguns are fine.
Yeah, they're good.
I mean, you
gotta be able to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Shout out to the student who goes through the metal detector with his.
Yes.
He's got like an automatic rifle like out in front of him on a strap, and he's taken so by surprise when they try to take it away from him.
He's pissed.
Yeah. He's walking in with like an AK, and he's like, "What? You can't take that."
This is my emotional support AK-47.
This guy is pretty cool.
Must be a new policy. I don't know.
Yeah, it must be. Okay, so we get some shots of like the robot control room that's on campus, hidden behind a wall with the scientists and Stacy Keach in it. Stacy Keach being like, "Yes, all the students are here." I mean, he's seriously playing like Creepazoid 9000.
Yeah, there's no way to describe how over the top he is, bad guy.
And also,
he's and that room, it's Ed Harris as Houston in Apollo 13. Like, it's,
yeah, and also it's one of the most effective misdirects I've seen in a film for a long time. You spend this entire movie going, okay, so in the last act, the denouement is Stacy Keach is going to tear off his face and reveal he's an android this whole time.
You're 100% sure.
Yeah.
There's no question. It's not.
Everyone in the audience is like, look at this fucking freaky.
I hate to say this, but I did not put that together at all.
Really?
Maybe I'm dumb. I was
the white
confused
contacts?
by the contacts.
Okay.
I'm like, I thought they might be like cybernetic eyes of some kind, but they never came out. So I thought maybe it's just a aesthetic choice. I did not ever think he'd be a robot.
Really?
I mean, you're either dumb or a genius, much like the director.
Yes.
Leaning towards dumb.
Yeah, like the director. Yeah.
So, all right. And Cody, for some reason, ends up sitting next to a fancy non-gang chick. The only non-gang person in the school.
The only normal-looking person in the school. And
she looks like a fancy girl in high school in 1989.
She looks like Candace, what's...
Bergen.
Is it Bergen? No. It's
Cameron,
that's one. Candace Cameron from Full House. She looks very wholesome.
She looks like a transplant straight out of Abraham Lincoln High School.
Nixon High.
Which, to be fair, in this school makes her look like a fucking freak.
Straight out of Kissinger State.
Yeah. She could have been homeschooled in Trump Tower for all we know.
Yes. Yeah. And Cody's first class is chemistry. And the cool thing about chemistry is that it is being taught by Pam fucking Grier.
Yes, that is the cool thing about it.
And first she's in educate mode. You see, it has Terminator vision.
Yeah.
Obviously. And she's in educate mode, and she's trying to get these Razorhead kids to like sit down and, learn some chemistry.
They're shaking down a nerd for money.
Yeah.
And they're just really rotten.
Yeah.
I will say at that point you're on the teacher's side.
Yeah. One of them, by the way, is Hector, famously a Hector. Who,
but we don't like Hector yet at this point.
No, we hate him at this point.
Yeah.
But he did just roll his car that was ostensibly full of mortars.
Right.
Still made it to class.
In desperate need of this nerd's money.
Yes, he's got to buy more mortars.
He's got a whole lot of body work to get done on that truck.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Also, he was standing in the back of the truck when it rolled over.
That's true. Like you could clearly see.
Yeah.
He's a tough kid.
They're shaking down a nerd. And Pam Grier, and I'm not going to use any of the teachers' names because I didn't bother to learn them. And Pam Grier is like, guys, sit down, be cool. And then she proceeds to explain to them how they are not being cool, and that if you're in her class, you need to be cool. And if I was on the receiving end of this speech, like Pam Grier telling me so hard that I am not cool, I mean, I would collapse into a black hole of nothingness.
It's scathing.
Yeah, it's like one of the most crushing things I've ever heard in a movie to be on the receiving end of. But they don't seem to care. Possibly it's the Edge that's doing that to them.
Possibly. I also point out the nerd that's being shaken down for money and is currently in a headlock joins them in laughing at the teacher.
That's also true. Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that is true.
They all hate authority. It doesn't matter if that authority is coming to save their asses.
He's like, get out of here, Teach. I'm trying to get shook down here. Yeah.
I owe these guys 50 more bucks. I just
Street
get
justice.
off. I just get off when they roll me this way. So then we go back to her Terminator vision, and she switches over to discipline mode. And she, has a number of options, including karate moves, fight combo 1, fight combo 2, and physical discipline, which sounds pretty hot.
Yeah,
that's the one she chooses. It's not actually very hot.
No. And
so
she puts her 6-inch stiletto through Hector's foot.
Yeah. She beats up the couple of regular Razorhead guys who don't have names or personalities or anything, and then stomps her fucking high heel through Hector's boot. So he spends the rest of the movie limping, which...
Yeah, to his credit, he limps the rest of the movie.
It's really kind of impressive. You would not normally see that level of continuity.
Well, I'll bring this up again later, but and in more detail, but there are clear signs in this film of a very competent continuity expert.
Really?
There's definitely somebody in the crew who's on continuity detail.
I have noticed like the wounds stay on people. Like when Cody gets beaten up, his wounds pretty much stay for the rest of the movie. They pay attention to that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the end of chemistry class, I guess. I'm not sure if they learn any chemistry. It's not important. Then we go to history. So in history class, we get the teacher who looks most like a teacher. Well, actually, the gym teacher also kind of looks like a gym teacher.
He really did. Yeah. Pam Grier did not at all.
No.
I thought the history teacher looked too much like Malcolm McDowell.
He really did. He looked like Malcolm McDowell in 1998. Like it was future Malcolm McDowell.
Yep.
I will also say the way the history teacher they introduce him was quite good. He comes in like all happy and whistling and...
Yeah, he's like, I have a 0 tolerance policy. You're going to have a quiz a week, a test every 2 weeks, and 2 hours of homework every night. And he's very excited. And then some kids get in a fight and are ignoring him. So he very sexually hyper spanks them.
Yes, robo spanks.
It was pretty hot. I thought Pam Grier was going to have the hot scenes, but...
Me too,
No.
Yeah. Nope. This guy, they cranked the camera down and high speed spanking. It was
cheers to this film for being ahead of its time and having a male on male BDSM.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Mr. Harden is the teacher's name.
Yes, that sounds right. And that actor was in a ton of shit.
Yeah.
He was in a bunch, like 5 Easy Pieces and a bunch
Batman,
of
Mask of the Phantasm.
Ooh, I didn't know that. So And, just another teacher violence thing.
Yeah, the teachers are mean.
Yeah, teachers.
That's what these whole first 3 scenes are setting up.
Yeah. And the main thing that this one sets up is that they've got cameras in every room, and Stacy Keach is in the control room watching them, and he is clearly hard as a fucking diamond.
Yeah.
By the way, I just read in the trivia while we were on break, Stacy Keach, it was his choice to play the villain as an albino. So I believe the eyes and hair are supposed to be... He did not bother to put on any light makeup, though.
That's not how albinos work. Number one, they don't have white eyes. And number two, they definitely don't have black mustaches.
And that's what the IMDb trivia says.
Yes.
He's also got the Stacy Keach permatan too.
Yeah. So he is clearly just out of frame, cranking his hog.
Yeah, he loves
watching these kids getting spanked. So that's the end of our first day of school.
We didn't go to gym class the first day?
No, gym class is the next day.
Yeah, this film also didn't establish passage of time very well. It felt like they left school in the middle of the day and then went back.
Yeah, it did.
So they go home from school and they find Sonny there. Sonny has had the shit kicked out of him and had a swastika cut into his chest.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice that.
It was a bunch of lines at right angles. I don't know if it was actually a swastika or something close to it. And that was by the Nazi security goons.
Mm-hmm.
But, he really needs some fucking edge to take the skin off. Or to take the...
I like that better.
Edge to take the edge off.
Edge to take the skin off.
So Angel steals some of his mom's drugs and then fights with his mom about if Sonny can take the drugs or not. And also Angel takes the drugs, so they get really high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were all wanted drugs. And Cody's so over it.
Yeah, he's like,
fuck you guys, man. I'm Bruce McCullough.
Yeah. I'm out of here.
That's Doug.
He's a combination of Doug and Bruce McCullough.
Yeah.
So he jumps on his motorcycle. It takes off. And that's what he takes to school the next day. Mm-hmm. We find out that there is not any sexual activity allowed in campus. And this announcement immediately spurs a sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
by some of the Razorheads on Christy. Cody stops it by beating up the Razorheads. The gym teacher catches him and takes him to the principal's office, and there's some sort of accord between Cody and the principal because the principal doesn't want his daughter to be sexually assaulted.
Thank you for saving my daughter for being assaulted, but you really should come to a teacher first.
Because of this, I will not report you to the parole board.
It's a very 80s. There's also this there's an attempted sexual assault, but nobody holds a grudge.
Right.
Yeah.
She's over quick. She doesn't care.
Yeah. They're friends pretty soon.
Yeah. So then we go to gym class, and the gym teacher is beating the hell out of a Blackheart kid, trying to do push-ups.
Because he didn't do enough, right?
Yes, I think that was the point. And he says, "We'll make a wrestler out of you yet." And he is in serious fucking gym teacher mode with a fucking spandex wrestling outfit with fucking knee and elbow pads. It is real
hot,
sexy.
Yeah, they got regionals coming up, so they've really got to get in shape.
Yeah. So then class is dismissed, except for Cody. The teacher is going to beat up Cody, or starts beating Cody up. And the Blackheart kid he had been assaulting goes to his locker, gets a gun, brings it back into the gym, threatens to shoot the teacher. Teacher breaks his fucking neck. And
also,
this is the point.
The beating that Cody got would put you in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this scene
hit in the
was
chest
disturbing.
multiple times to the point that he's coughing up a lot of blood.
Yeah, he is coughing a weird amount of blood up for somebody who, in the next scene, is just standing around nah, man.
School
this
sucks.
This is the type of beating where you really need some edge after it.
Yeah.
Just to keep moving.
That's been established. They really violated their own logic.
But man, I know I've mentioned it, but this scene was uncomfortable just because it was so graphically violent to these kids. I know they're probably adults, but
Oh yeah. I thought this is where I clocked something that goes back to what Stan mentioned earlier, how this is just sort of a generally conservative movie, but not politically motivated. It's just kids these days type shit. And I kind of realized, like, oh yeah, in the 80s and 90s, it was all about gangs are taking over our schools. Like even the serious movies like Stand and Deliver and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's about gangs taking over our schools. This scene is actually what turned out to be the real problem in schools, a fucking lone gunman school shooter.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, true.
And it is given no attention whatsoever.
Right.
No, well, guns are so commonplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of fun.
Super fun.
Yeah. It's like, hey, they actually saw the thing was in the movie, but they just glossed on by it. Just went by it at 100 miles an hour.
This kind of shit doesn't happen over at Martin Van Buren High.
Who could have predicted?
Yeah. So then we cut to Stacy Keach coming when the gym guy breaks the kid's neck. The other scientists seem to have an issue with this.
They're like, we shouldn't be murdering children. And he's like, fuck you. It's why we're here.
Yeah, we have to kill all the kids.
Everyone's going to want to buy my robots when they see how many kids I've murdered.
Yeah. And in Keach's defense, like, Marvin is a nerd.
Yeah.
True, he deserved it.
The scientist with the objections, he's got glasses and everything.
Yeah, he's got glasses. A complete fucking nerd. He's got glasses and morals, whatever.
Yeah, and they're not like Apple Vision.
Apple Vision 2 glasses.
No, they're just nerd glasses.
Yeah, they're regular fucking glasses. There's no
Google
excuse.
Glass.
Yeah.
So then we go to history, and Sonny shows up late and high.
Does this weird like circle around the room and then leaves.
This was honestly very good, like way too high acting, where he's like straightening the desks that he bumped.
Yeah, I thought so. I noticed that too. Yeah,
he's got like he's actually doing this. Like this is a good bit of business. So the teacher takes him out to the hall and then feeds him a bunch of his own drugs until he dies.
He melts.
Yeah,
That's true. He did.
Apparently, too much edge will melt the bottom half of your face.
Skin doesn't do that.
No. I mean, it's one of those wonder drugs. And also the teacher crushes his jaw and breaks his neck, which we find out in a later scene.
And takes his cross necklace.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell he OD'd.
Yeah.
This guy was so high, he crushed his own jaw.
Does have serious side effects. And the history teacher takes his crucifix as a trophy?
I guess. Who knows?
Question mark? Doesn't seem like a robot thing, but whatever.
They're not robots, though. They're androids, right? Like they used to be humans.
No, I don't think they used to be humans.
No, they look like that would be my assumption at this point in the film. But I think the climax makes it pretty clear they're Terminators.
Yeah, and the Terminator is a robot with a fleshy covering, as opposed to a proper cyborg.
Right, I guess I thought there was still a human brain somewhere in there, but maybe it doesn't fucking matter anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. With as much as they talk about their programming. Anyway, so then Stacy Keach eats a banana.
Was it Always Sunny that explained, like, if you've got a scene that's a little too heavy, a little too dark, just throw in somebody eating a banana? And so there are, like, several scenes in Always Sunny where things are getting a little too much, and somebody starts munching on a banana, and it lightens the mood. Like, when Charlie's in the Nazi outfit.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't think that's what they were going for here, but it certainly lightened the mood for me.
Yeah, he's eating a banana while Malcolm McDowell's like, you can't keep killing the children.
And he's like, munch, munch, munch.
And Stacy
He
Keach
was
is
going
like,
for a Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11.
Yeah, definitely. Bananas, the sexiest food for people to eat.
yeah. So then Cody and Christy go to Malcolm McDowell's, and they're like, these teachers, they're killing the kids, man. They're beating everybody up. This isn't cool. It's really hard to get into the mode of Cody talking because he's not very good.
He's a really, really bad actor.
It is a very, very affected trying to be, I don't know, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, teen bad boy. I mean,
it did have some, what's the fucking vampire movie?
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. Yeah. Bad boy vibes.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're all trying to be Corey Feldman, so.
I mean, but not from the 80s like Corey Feldman now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very cool.
Yes, with his 5 backup singers dressed as angels.
Yes.
And his electronica band. Great. Good guy. No problems with him. And Malcolm McDowell covers for the teachers and everything. And on the way out of the office, Cody steals a piece of paper off of a desk. This will become important in a few scenes. As it stands, it looks like he just picks up a piece of printer paper and walks out.
Yeah, I think you speculated in that scene that he stole hall passes.
Yes, that was not the case, it turns out. No. I was mainly remembering the fact that I, myself, had stolen a pad of hall passes back in high school.
You were a bad boy, too.
I was just as cool as Cody.
You brought mortars to school as well.
Except I was sticking with skin.
And to be fair, Emporia High was a free fire zone.
It really was. It did look way more post-apocalyptic than fucking Kennedy does.
True. Inside Kennedy's just a pretty normal high school.
Yeah. The high school Eric and I went to, seriously, it looks like it was originally designed as a maximum security prison.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of brutalist horse shit.
Yeah. By the way, we never mentioned that this takes place in Seattle.
That's true.
Famous, at least for me, famous cyberpunk city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is not a bit of the Seattle sound on the soundtrack.
No, not a stitch. Although the soundtrack, Nine Inch Nails in Seattle, but
nope.
There was a Nine Inch Nails song.
Keach kind of could pass for, like, if you gave him a couple of warts, he could pass for like a Shadowrun troll.
That's true.
Definitely
an orc. He wouldn't even need the warts for an orc.
That, yes, Stacy Keach in this movie could be an illustration from First Ed Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Jeff
really
Laubenstein
could.
Art, because he kind of already looks like one. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right. Just add some tusks and you're there.
We love him.
Okay. He will definitely be making other appearances on this podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, and in a movie with Pam Grier.
Oh, shit.
You are absolutely right. Escape from L.A.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be great. So Stacy Keach and Malcolm McDowell go and have a nice tall goblet of milk at a fancy restaurant, talking about stock prices.
Malcolm McDowell has some kind of brown liquor, but
yes,
he's
I'm
drinking away his
bourbon.
problems.
Yeah.
I'm sure they gave him milk, and he was like, "I'm not doing that."
No, thank you.
This is not a thing.
I've done that before. I've got the IBS to show for it. I'm done.
Look, I'm hard up, but I'm not that hard up. I've got Tank Girl coming up in a mere 4 years.
Now, it was weird in the scene after I shouldn't say this. In the scene after Cody stops the sexual assault, where he said, "Were they attempting to give my daughter a bit of the in out?" Might cut that joke. I'm gonna write that.
I don't know. I really think you should leave it.
Okay. Feel bad.
I think if they've made it this far, they're in.
Nobody's listening.
Yeah. So then we go, while they're having a nice tall goblet of milk, and just the fact that the milk is served in a fancy goblet really did something for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a like a partif glass or whatever you call it. Like it was
like a brandy glut snifter or something.
Yeah, it was very small. It wasn't like a chalice. It was
it was a real move. I mean, and that, like in the scene they didn't film before that, the Stacy Keach character ordered milk. They brought him like a Collins glass full of milk, and he said, "No, this will not do at all. I need
your fanciest glass."
Yes, with cold pasteurized milk.
Mm-hmm. The other odd drink in this that stood out to me was the kids drinking from the juice boxes.
Yes, I noticed that too.
Yeah. I can't remember the context of the scene. I just remember they were having a very heavy conversation and drinking these high seas.
I think that's like 2 scenes from now.
It was Christy.
When right before Christy and Cody go to the teacher's apartment.
And watching an adult playing a child drinking from a juice box is just unnatural looking.
Just a little weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, we go to an extremely cool club. And by an extremely cool club, I mean the club we've seen in many of the films that we've watched for this show, and many of the films we will watch in the future. There are girders, there are people in leather, there's automatic gunfire, there's very loud music.
Yeah, there are multiple people just firing guns.
Just firing fully automatic weapons, which they can't have at school.
Did you guys notice also in some random scenes, they would just put gunfire in the background while people were having
gunfire and explosions just in the background sound. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a free fire zone. What do you want?
Yeah, I know. People be firing.
I mean, it's free.
Yeah.
They have to give you more bullets. Yeah, they have to give you more bullets. So what are you even in a free fire zone if you're not going to be free firing?
It's a good point. It's a good point.
So they beat Angel into the Blackhearts, which is a classic gangs in the 1980s do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only thing they're missing out is having a scene where people are driving around with their headlights off, and if some fucking boomer middle class couple flashes their lights at them, they get murdered.
Yeah. A real thing that happened all the time.
Yes, I'm assuming that was a real thing that also happened in Memphis all the time, or wherever you went to high school, Stan.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it was. Regular warnings about
it was an
that.
epidemic.
Yeah. All over the country. So then Cody gets beat out of the Blackhearts.
Yeah. Just didn't get beat off.
That's true.
Not yet.
Honestly, there is no sex in this movie, which is kind of surprising for what's clearly a B action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually there's something.
Adds more credence to the conservative bent.
Mm-hmm. Good point. So the next day,
you do have some prosthetic breasts, though. At some
yeah, that's what they were deciding too. Well, and I guess the hyper spanking scene.
Yeah,
so
okay, spanking was pretty sexual.
Yeah, yeah. So the next day, Christy and Cody are drinking juice boxes at lunch, and Cody convinces Christy to go to the teacher's apartment because Cody saw the history teacher with Sonny's crucifix, and Sonny would never give up that crucifix. It came from his mom. Mm-hmm. So they take off on Cody's motorcycle.
So definitely they're definitely not literally brothers because that's a different mother.
This is the first.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah,
it's the first proof I've seen they're not actually brothers.
Adoptive brothers. I don't know.
Who knows?
Doesn't matter. So they go to the teacher's apartment where they find 3 chairs, like $35 worth of WD-40.
Yeah.
In $1980, there were a lot of WD-40 cans.
Yeah.
That was
a case of WD-40.
Yeah. Was it Josh? Was it you that asked how much do you think they paid for the WD-40? Like,
yes.
Like the right to have it in the movie or whatever. And
yeah.
I think they went to Home Depot and paid $27.
Yeah. A couple of tanks of like argon or some sort of welding gas.
Yeah, that was weird. Was that the one in the fridge?
The argon was by the chairs.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what was in the fridge. Yeah, some more tanks of something.
And
then
one bra.
One lacy bra, which Christy is very hung up on.
Yeah, she talks a lot about it. Plus, that
It was a clue.
If she's only wearing one bra, that means
What's
that
she
Pam Grier
wearing?
just went to school braless that day.
Yeah, hot.
But that's the smoking gun. That's when Christy realizes, oh, these are Terminators.
Yeah.
A human would have at least 3 bras.
Yeah, it's a weirdly drawn out conversation.
Yeah.
And of course, they find the crucifix. At this point, the teachers come home from school, spot Cody and Christy leaving the house, and then there's a car chase, which is not good. They pass the same.
It ends pretty cool, though.
1978 Honda Civic about 5 times.
Yeah. Not to mention they're in like a sexy Ford Tempo.
A sexy 1980 Ford Taurus, or 1989 Ford Taurus.
Is it Taurus or Tempo?
I think it was a Taurus, but I could be wrong.
Didn't look that nice.
They looked about the same body-wise. And yeah, then it ends really cool in that there's just this ramp into the bay, and they go flying off this ramp.
Yeah, they just, I hate
totally
water.
unmarked.
No.
It's totally unmarked.
Our theory was that the director saw that unfinished bridge.
Like, we
And
got
that
to
was-
use this.
And he was like, I'm going to write a movie.
Yeah. Look, we got this fucking bridge.
Don't just let this go unused.
Yeah. So then we cut to a nice normal scene where Cody and Angel
before they go into the water, the PE teacher says, I hate water.
I hate water.
It's
And
coarse
spoiler
and
alert, this is not the
everywhere.
last time he jumps in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently they all had wetsuits under their clothes because that water was unbearably cold.
It was fucking Seattle in like December.
Yeah.
Yeah, very bad. So then after this incredible chase scene where the 3 teachers are attempting to murder Cody and his girlfriend, Cody goes home and makes up with Angel, and they play a little b-ball. And
Outside of the school.
it's, I don't know, man. This scene was just off-putting. Just, I don't know.
Angel is very off-putting.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really is.
He's too happy about scoring a goal.
He's just too
Yeah.
enthusiastic about everything, given his shitty fucking existence.
Hey, honestly, it's not okay. This is not about the kid who plays Angel, but everybody, especially Cody, in the scenes with Angel, treats him like he is the neighbor kid with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, yeah, Angel, great job.
Good job. You scored a basket. Angel. What's he chanting? Angel's the
Angel,
best. or
Angel, Angel, Angel.
something. Angel.
Yeah,
Plus,
it's
why they name him Angel? That's a weird name for a kid.
you're not wrong.
He also acted like he was the something in the chant was about him being like the Free Fire Zone.
Yeah,
champion.
Free Fire Zone champion.
Yeah.
Like he was their. They send him off to the Olympics or something.
Yes. So they end up, they've made up. They love each other. They're brothers, man. Even though Cody is no longer in the Blackhearts and Angel is. Cody takes off, and then Angel gets picked up by the teachers and thrown like a rag doll 45 feet and bounces off the side of a building. It's pretty funny. And then they hang him from a noose.
That's a series wrap on Angel.
Yeah, series wrap on Angel.
Honestly, he had it coming for looking so weird.
He really did.
Yeah.
I was relieved.
So what we have here, as the teachers walked out of the water after they ended up, driving the car into it, which, by the way, they're driving the same car.
Yeah, I was
when they
the
pick
continuity
Angel up,
guy
don't worry
either
about
failed on that or they only drive baby blue Ford Tauruses and they just went and found another one.
Yeah,
There
don't
were a
worry
lot
about
of them.
He was off that day.
There really were.
It's not unrealistic that they just went and found another.
Yeah, the history teacher says, we have a new strategy. We must turn them against themselves, or something to that effect.
Yeah, the teachers have gone fully off the rails at this point.
Yeah. So
Well, now every time they look at a kid, their Terminator vision says "destroy enemy"
yeah,
Which is fair.
or target enemy.
Because the kids are their enemy, as makes sense.
Fuck them
being teachers. Fuck them kids. So yeah, they kill Angel, hang him at the Blackheart's clubhouse. Then they go and kill one of the Razorhead guys. I can't remember. I think his name was Noser.
Yeah,
maybe?
it was something stupid.
Who was like delivering a pizza?
He was picking up pizzas for the gang. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then they send basically anonymous notes written in blood on a basketball. Warzone, high noon. So they're setting it up to make the Blackhearts think the Razorheads killed Angel, and the Razorheads think that the Blackhearts killed Noser. So then they're going to go to the Warzone, which honestly looks like a very great paintball site.
Aptly named.
Yeah. So they go to this Warzone, which is the docks, ? With a bunch of piles of tires and like busted up cars and shit like that. And they just start mortaring each other and automatic weaponing each other.
Yeah, grenades, lots of grenades.
Yeah, I thought it was odd that they had grenades. I shouldn't have because they have mortars, but
yeah, there was a surprising amount of grenade action.
Yeah, and one of those grenades was definitely high explosive.
Yeah, they weren't fragmentation grenades.
It took the roof off that fucking building.
Yeah, there were serious explosions in this part. They spent a good portion of their budget on it.
I think they spent most of the budget on this scene, honestly.
Yeah. So then, as the Blackhearts and the Razorheads are going to war and shooting at each other.
You missed though. Sorry, I wanted to bring this up because the scene was so cheesy.
Okay.
When Angel died, and Cody goes and sees his corpse hanging. He's like, no, and he gets angry, and you can see the old Cody come back out, and he's like, jump me in, and he's back in the gang, and then you can tell he's in the gang now because he's got a hat that he puts on backwards.
Yeah, you really can. It's extremely cool,
It's
and
called
he's
acting,
like,
guys.
he's like the leader of the gang again.
Yeah, they jumped him in and bumped him up to leader.
Yeah, because he's the coolest.
Yeah,
they're gonna make me let out the old me.
Yeah,
you don't want to see the old me.
So while the kids are shooting each other, the teachers are sneaking around killing everybody. Like they broke up into the gym teacher is going after the Razorheads, and then Pam Grier and history teacher are going after the Blackhearts, and they are just walking around blowing people up and shit.
Yeah, and they just wanted blood at that point because they already had the kids killing each other.
Yeah. Mission accomplished. But now they're just having fun.
They could have jumped in after and cleaned up the remainder.
No, they were like, hey, this war is actively going on. Let's do it.
Get in there.
History rips one kid in half, pulling him through a wall.
That was a good scene.
That's pretty cool. And then Cody shoots him, fills him full of lead, but nobody will believe him.
Yeah.
Because history doesn't even fucking flinch. And this is the point at which we're getting to the third act.
Oh my God.
So basically there are not a lot of survivors left over after this war. We go to...
all the leaders lived, though, thankfully.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. Hector's still alive. Cross yourself.
I don't want to give away the ending, but between the two of them, they leave basically one gang's worth of dudes.
Yeah.
You could have one solid gang out of the survivors.
Yeah. So we cut to the school at
how convenient
night.
for them.
Yeah. We cut to the school at night. And Malcolm McDowell is yelling at Stacy Keach and the teachers. And he's like, you can't be killing these kids. And the teachers are like, well, we're evil robots, so we're going to kill you. And they do so.
That's a series wrap on Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah. Series wrap on the 2 days of shooting for Malcolm McDowell.
Cash that check, Malcolm.
I bet he did. Then we cut to the Razorheads clubhouse where Head Like a Hole by Nine Inch Nails is playing.
Yeah.
Which might be the first like film appearance of Nine Inch Nails.
Oh yeah.
I noticed
the wax was still hot. Like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like brand new at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed on the credits it's credited to the Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah. And it's weird how, I mean, I know that song came out in the 80s, but
it's like 89, yeah.
It's ahead of its time enough that it took me out of the movie because it doesn't feel like the rest of the music in the movie.
No. No, that mid-year song that it ends with is very heavily indebted to 1986 Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're at the clubhouse. Hector picks up the phone. He's like, yeah. We don't hear what's on the other end. Turns out that it's Cody, and Cody wants Hector to come to the school one-on-one to fight him. And then
Battle
Hector's
the Bastard style.
And then Hector's buddy says, you trust him? And Hector says, yeah, like a vampire giving me a blowjob.
There's a lot of jokes like that.
Which is like a cool thing that everybody says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like normal. Then we cut to Christy being at her home waiting
She's
for
still
her
in this
dad.
movie.
She is still in this movie. She gets kidnapped by Pam Grier. And then Pam Grier gets her to call Cody and fakes Hector's voice and says, hey, I've got your girlfriend. You better meet me at the school in 1 hour, one-on-one. So it's at this point that we find out that like the teachers are playing the kids against each other. It's just an extension of what they were doing earlier, but now they have fake voices.
So you would think that was ripped off of Terminator 2, but I'm pretty sure this came out before Terminator 2.
No, T2 was 2 years later.
Yeah, so they ripped off Class of 1999 clearly.
Yep. Yep.
That and the skeleton. Well, no, they had that in the original Terminator. Never mind.
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
They wouldn't have kept it in T2 except that it was so
so cool.
It got reinvigorated.
The
by Class
zeitgeist
of 1999.
adopted it. Yeah.
So then, for no reason, we cut to the scientists dead in the control room. Like all the scientists are now dead, as is Malcolm McDowell. Both Cody and Hector show up at the school. Oh, it turns out that neither of them came one-on-one. They all brought their fucking buddies.
Whoa, those liars.
Yeah. It's at this point that I figured out the only real difference in the themes between these two gangs, other than the beauty mark Blackheart tattoos, is the Razorheads drive cars and the Blackhearts all drive motorcycles.
Famous car v motorcycle wars of the 80s.
I don't know. It's just something I noticed. Like, oh yeah, all the Razorheads are in cars, and all the
Well, you drive a car with your head, and you drive a motorcycle with your heart, so it makes sense.
That's true. Words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom from Stan. For more content like that, check out Astronomica. So, Cody pretty rapidly figures out what's happening. The teachers are just trying to lure him here. And, oh, by the way, one of the Blackhearts has a fucking light anti-tank rocket launcher like Michael Douglas in Falling Down.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that.
You can pick those up at your free fire zone.
They brought their mortars. And Cody convinces Hector, and by extension, all the Razorheads, to join him in fighting the teachers, because he convinces him that, like, yeah, I saw the teachers; they're like fucking Terminators.
But Hector does stipulate.
Yes, he does stipulate
that if there are no teachers in there, the war is back on.
The war is back on.
Hector has his priorities. Somebody's gonna fucking get killed tonight.
Yeah. So
it can either be the teacher,
next scene knowing the risks that are. Yeah.
It's an extra level of tension. Like, are the teachers there or are they not? If the teachers aren't there, the Razorheads are gonna fucking go back to war. So They bust into the school, including by driving through windows on motorcycles.
I would think that walking around in the school with your automatic weapon would be much more convenient than driving your motorcycle around inside the school with your automatic weapons. But
Except nobody brought flashlights.
Oh, they need the headlights. Smart.
Oh, good point. Good point, Stan. So we go into the school riding through windows on motorcycles. Hector sends a bunch of guys up to the library. Not sure what that was about, other than they wanted to get a snarky line
They made
about
like 5 library jokes back to back.
Yeah, I hear they got the new Anne Beatty novel.
You got your library card, bro?
Yeah, it was
I'm
weird.
gonna go do the Dewey Decimal System with the gun. I couldn't think of a pun for that.
Given that we didn't see the library earlier in the film or later in the film or ever, it's weird that they just bring it up out of nowhere.
I'm sorry, Josh. Can we back up a second? I want to go with Dewey Decimal System.
No.
Dewey Decimal System.
Nope.
Okay, fair.
As someone who likes books, I was glad they had something in the movie for me.
Yeah. You were excited about that Anne Beatty reference?
Yeah.
Libraries. I love this.
I like library puns. Sue me.
Okay. No, we'll fine you. Rock and roll, baby.
Got him.
Okay. So Cody tells everybody, and this is really important, to be careful, because these things are like a bad, fucked up George Jetson nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the late 80s action movie one-liners really start ramping up.
Yeah.
And we find out vaguely that like Hector and Cody used to be buddies in like middle school.
Yeah. I used to think you were pretty cool, man.
Yeah. And then they get beat up by Pam Grier because they're riding fucking motorcycles around as opposed to just walking like people.
Yeah, but they never would have seen her without him.
Good point. Yeah, no flashlights. They shoot her and blow her shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
Then Cody jams a switchblade into her guts and cuts more of her shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
And then her tits are hanging out, except they're robot tits. and also green goo.
Yeah. And this is where I'm going to jump in here, because this is where the continuity expert comes in.
Oh, okay.
She gets her shirt blown. I wouldn't say blown off. I would say blown open. And
fair enough. Yeah.
Cut open, and it's hanging open. One tit is out. It's very obviously a plastic
very
boob,
very obviously. Yeah,
with the nipple. But the blouse is like just down the side, so you can see the nipple. Mm-hmm. And then every shot of her for the rest of the movie, like that blouse does not move. They had to have a continuity expert come out before every scene and like, oh, your nipple's covered. Let me get that.
Yeah.
Also, another bit of continuity, no bra. So clearly that bra was still at home.
There you go.
On the floor where what's her name picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this movie's just shot up to 20 out of 10 for me.
Josh loves continuity.
He does.
It's kind of his biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do. So yeah, we get to see Pam Grier's bionic tetas, as Hector says.
Mm-hmm.
Hector's dropping the Spanglish the whole time, and I like it.
Yeah, and then then she tears her hand off, and she has a flamethrower on.
Yeah.
It melts, doesn't it? Doesn't her hand like melt off?
Yeah, pretty.
Right. Yeah.
So then she chases them with a flamethrower. The gym teacher beats up some kids, rips off his arm, and it's a rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And, like you do. And then Cody goes down into like the basement where there are cells.
Mm-hmm. The real bad kids.
Yeah. And rescues a tied up Christy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's down there with one of my favorite Razorhead, or my favorite Blackheart guys, the guy with the bleach blonde hair and the little top hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he was like the leader while Cody was out.
Yeah, who I can't remember his name. I think it also began with a fucking C. Not important.
And was am I misremembering, or he was the one who tried to sexually assault Chrissy earlier, right?
He might have
Yes,
been.
I think
Now
so.
the BFFs.
Yeah.
Is it
so-
Kurt?
Yeah, it's fine now.
And now he's
Kurt? Yeah.
rescuing her, and everything's cool.
Yeah, it's fine. So it turns out that History is the one who is holding her down there, and he has this weird claw drill hand thing.
Kurt was in Stand By Me. Interesting.
Oh.
And The Wizard.
Ooh.
Is
that movie Cyberpunk?
Power gloves because they're so rad.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Is a power glove inherently cyberpunk?
It's a little
Yes.
Should
bit.
we cover that?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, so now you get the third teacher arm,
Yeah. Which
firmly
is,
establishing that they are all Mega Man villains.
yeah.
Yes, that you are exactly right.
Also, History got the short end of the stick on the magical arms.
Yeah, he's got like a claw drill thing, while everybody else has range weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
So,
that
yeah,
drill is not gonna. You can't even like do woodworking with that drill. It's like completely blocked off by the claw
Yeah.
things. It's really pointless.
I mean, it's really only for drilling into somebody's forehead if you have their head already
Clamped in the
three-claw
claws.
thing.
Yeah, that's its purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trepanation.
So he's trying to do that to Cody, and Cody sticks his gun in his mouth and blows his head off. And that's the end of History.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good death, though.
Not to call back and make Eric seem dumb,
Please, Josh does it frequently.
but when he blows off the robot's head, there's no brains.
Oh, you're right. There's
some like green goo and some sparks. Yeah.
It's notably,
Yeah.
it's pretty dry on the inside.
Yeah.
It's very much.
That's the dry head blow off rule. So I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah. Okay.
you better
we're
hope
close.
I never get a guest spot on Astronomica. I'm going to make you look so stupid.
I'm sure you won't. Don't worry. I'm kidding. You guys are welcome anytime.
Oh, I would love to. Speaking of which, I need to come up with a fucking NPC name for you.
Yeah.
At some point. But so we're close to the end, guys. I promise. So Cody and Christy are running away from this, and they run into Pam Grier, and they lead her into the chemistry room where they run around turning all the gas on.
Which I always wanted to do.
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
science
just
room.
having fucking gas valves all over the place with high school students. I am honestly surprised every high school hasn't blown up
Yeah, I know.
at least a few times. They lead Pam Grier in there. She's hunting for him. And then it turns out that even though Angel might have been the champ of basketball in the Free Fire Zone, Cody is apparently the fire axe throwing
He's
champion
a
of the Free
fucking
Fire Zone.
master.
Yeah, he launches a fire axe directly into the flamethrower gas canisters in Pam Grier.
Yeah,
and then she explodes.
Much like the one hand golf guy, like he's got his own style. Like this isn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't overhand.
Mhm.
He horizontally. It
Yeah,
comes
it's
in,
full sidearm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
he puts
I
his
mean,
own touch on it.
yeah. So they go back out into the hall. Well, get blown into the hall.
Yeah.
And run into Hector.
Fully
And-
redeemed at this point. Hector,
Yeah.
he is on our side.
Yeah.
So he's going to distract the gym teacher because Cody has a fucking idea.
And that guy's been wanting to shove a missile up my ass for the last hour or something like that.
Yeah. So all three of them run outside. Hector takes off into like the side yard of the school or something, while Cody and Christy like run off down the street. And then the gym teacher comes out and is trying to shoot at Hector, and Hector's shooting at him, and like
skittering around like a little spider monkey.
yeah, he's doing like crab running around.
Yeah.
Like
It's so weird.
He's very.
It was-
if you ever played Unreal Tournament, it's like that.
he's
doing a lot of,
he's
bunny
strafing
hopping.
like a son of a bitch. Yeah. Strafing, bunny hopping. Yeah. It's all there. And Cody's big plan is I'm going to grab the school bus, which apparently is half a mile down the street.
What a
based
strange
on,
plan.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big gamble. I'm going to leave for the next 10 minutes and find a large vehicle that I hope the keys are just in there.
Yeah. And I'm going to stick my girlfriend in here with me.
Step 2 of the plan is put the girlfriend in. Why?
Not get her to safety.
Yeah.
No.
She could have left.
Yeah.
It's a
She
free
could have
fire
gone
zone, man.
at
Who knows
any
what
point.
kind of dangers are on out there.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good point. So Cody drives the school bus into the gym teacher. The school bus immediately explodes in, roughly the equivalent of the Fat Man atomic blast. We're all happy and excited now. Hector says that was some heavy gang banging going on as he's hugging Cody and Christy.
Movie is clearly over. Definitely nothing else is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then we go back into the school.
We got to go see which of our boys survived.
Because he thinks he hears a motorcycle.
That was dumb.
Yeah. So we go down to the metal shop where Stacy Keach is. And he grabs Christy, shoots Hector. And then, oh no, we've been cutting back to the gym teacher's very poorly done special effects Terminator stop motion endoskeleton crawling out from under the bus.
Apparently it took like 12 people to operate this puppet.
I believe it. It's a bad puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took 12 people because it's bad. Yeah.
Yes.
It's extremely poorly designed, so we need 12.
I think Jim Henson Company or like Stan Winston could have knocked that down to 2.
Yeah.
So then he apparently the gym teacher has just gone full crazy now because I guess Stacy Keach is his enemy, and he
just
punches.
I think he sees Christy and is like target enemy and just doesn't get the Keach between them.
Okay, sure. Why not? He punches right through Stacy Keach. Stacy Keach dies. It's kind of impressive how Terminator 1 was 1984, right? This gym teacher special effects are much worse than Terminator 1.
Terminator 1.
like very, very bad. He's chasing Christy around poorly. His face is clearly made of rubber. And
no longer looks like the same guy. Like you only know it from
they started designing this mask or this rubber piece that goes on this robot's head long before the guy was cast as the gym teacher.
Exactly. They just know they needed a white guy.
Yeah, they needed a white guy with some hair.
Yeah.
So then Cody, Christy's climbing up a thing. The gym teacher's chasing after her. Cody spears the gym teacher.
Cody's
with a
chosen
forklift.
weapon is vehicles.
Yeah,
and axes, obviously.
Cody's forklift certification is saving the day here.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, as somebody
Maybe he
said
got that in prison, probably.
As somebody said when we were watching the other night, get your forklift cert, people. It'll save your life. So he stabs the gym teacher with a forklift, does a bunch of spinny spins with it, and then collapses it down, pulling the thing apart.
Well, what's her name? Wraps a chain around his neck.
Yeah.
And then he very slowly pulls the teacher's head off.
And that's the end of the movie. They walk out of the school.
He does my favorite trope there, which is he's physically like pulling a lever or pushing a button, but on his face is like it's like he's doing it with his bare hands.
Yeah. He's screaming very loudly, and it takes no more. Yeah,
it took all of his strength to pull that lever down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you occasionally see in the Fast and Furious movies where somebody is like shifting into third and they're like, ah! Yeah. And then it's dawn. The school is destroyed. Everyone except Cody and Christy are dead. So the teachers were successful in suppressing gang activity.
Yeah, the gangs are completely gone.
I mean, there's one gang dude left,
It's not a
And-
gang if it's just one.
Yeah. So there we are. There's a mid-year song. It's very bad. That's the fucking movie.
Whew. Man,
So 20 out of 10?
I feel like I just had to sit through it a second time.
You did.
Yes. I always want to apologize deeply to our guests and our audience.
Hard time asking people to come on.
Yeah. Why? We would love you to do some work for us and then hear us yell that work back at you. Maybe if you can make some funny comments. Huh?
Yeah.
I do want to shout out also our good buddies Nathan and Seb, who suffered through the film with us, and
Yes.
also Dave, who dropped in briefly.
Yeah. Yeah, he was there for a hot minute.
He's going to be kicking himself when he learns that he missed the fake nipple.
Yeah.
Kind of sad I didn't get to watch with you guys. This would be a fun one to watch in a group, I have a feeling.
Well, let's watch. You know what? Let's watch it again right now.
All right.
Fire it up, baby.
Well, there's always class of 1999 too, The Substitute. So
Yeah, Dave
You mean
dropped
class
in
of 1984 3.
Oh, yeah.
right. Sorry, my bad.
And Terminator Salvation is Terminator 3-2, right?
Yep.
That's how it works. All right. So on this here podcast, once we finish watching a property, we rate it using a patented high-tech low-life rating system. So we have 4 categories and then an overall enjoyment factor.
Okay.
So I'm gonna break these out and then we can just say what we think. The first category is we're rating the story. How great of a tale did this movie weave?
And this is a 5-point scale.
This is a 10.
10-point scale. Okay. In that case,
I think-
1.
Honestly, you're okay sticking with the 5-point scale. You would have honestly been okay with that.
I'm going to give it a 3 because I kind of like, I kind of like the dystopian, ultra-violent world, but that's about it, really. 3 is probably too generous.
I'm going to give this a 2, if only because Stan brought up, oh, this is directly referencing A Clockwork Orange.
True. Plus, it's nice and numerical. 3, 2, 1 on my little sheet here.
No, good point.
Influence. What influence did this film have on future cyberpunk and science fiction movies that came after it? And we've already pointed out that they clearly stole the imitating robot voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I think there's probably a lot of parallel thinking more than people
I think you're right.
taking from this. I think probably it shares source material with a lot of stuff.
Yeah. There were so many teen gang movies in the fucking 80s.
Yeah, it
and
also
70s.
You know, the attitude throughout the film reminded me. I had a cousin who was a big skater back when that was a thing, and it reminds me of watching, like, every weekend he would rent skater movies with names like Skater or Skater 3.
Skater Die, yeah.
Skater Die, yeah.
I got a very Skater vibe.
I hadn't put that together, but yeah, I feel the same way, having seen some of those movies.
I have as well. I don't think this movie influenced much at all.
No.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and a 2 on influence. I think people who made later movies, I think they saw this movie. I think your special effects professionals watched this movie.
Don't forget the
what do we not do?
The continuity community.
That's
continuity
true. Yeah.
community.
Okay, yeah, good point.
You could never have Poker Face or Mr. and Mrs. Smith today.
Without Class of 1999.
Without Class of 1999 establishing the importance of continuity.
And let's. Oh wait, influence. So this absolutely has to have been the thing that got Pam Grier Jackie Brown. So I'm going to give this an 8.
I think this is the one thing in her career that
Tarantino was like, look at those bionic tetas. I got to get that in my movie.
Was going through her like body of work and was like, but she was in class 1999. I don't know if I can use her. There's no way.
It's 2. Yeah. Okay, I'll give it a 2.
I didn't mean to influence your ranking.
No, I think it brought it down from an 8.
Yeah.
All right, our next category is prescience. The world they've built, the dystopia. How likely how close do we think they got? And there are a few things which I think private security at high schools, totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Especially being mainly manned by Nazis, 100% probable.
Right.
Mortar fights on the way to school.
Yeah. They very clearly failed to call out Columbine.
Yeah.
Like I said,
what a gross
it hit him in the face, and they didn't do anything with it.
They had it right there. Like, hey, this is the next 30 years of our culture right there. They just zipped on past it.
But kids coming into school through metal detectors. I mean, was that a thing in the 90s? I mean,
no,
definitely in the 90s, but in 90s?
I mean, yeah, I think it probably existed a handful of places, but not really.
Yeah.
I mean, this was filmed in 88. It was supposed to release in 89 and then eventually was pushed to May of 90. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. If there were metal detectors, there were only a handful.
Yeah.
It'd be in the serious inner city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's obviously exaggerated, but I think some of it is kind of
and also gym teachers are fucking assholes, at least through the late 90s. So I'm going to give this a 10 for prescience.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 5. No, that's too much. 4. I'm going to go 4.
And it definitely called out a future full of stark white mullets with rat tails.
Yeah. I mean, they are back.
They are back.
Oh, and it did predict Edge. So
yeah,
which has yet to manifest, but is definitely coming around. So
isn't fentanyl just Edge?
I don't think Edge kills cops on contact. So
it's true.
Yeah, fuck of a lot cooler if it did.
I'm gonna agree with 4.
Yeah. Josh?
I honestly think, 4 seems like a really good, they had some stuff that is accurate, but it was also right there.
Yeah, it was also like they lucked into it. They weren't trying.
Yeah, they threw so much shit at the wall.
Yeah.
A certain amount of it stuck, but...
Next is a category that they might take. Style. What
fashion?
Yeah. How stylish do you think this movie is? Not just on what they were wearing, but how they were acting, how
accurately they portrayed live action first edition Shadowrun illustrations. 10.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
10.
Honestly, yeah. If I had seen this movie in 1991, I would have been like, "Hey, it's Shadowrun."
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'll say it beats Terminator 2 in this category.
I think it would beat Terminator 2 in this category. I'm going to go 7.5.
Okay.
It's real. God, just the variety of looks of the gang members, like that chick with the red hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that chick with the fucking red hair, and there was another chick with a red beret on, and
don't forget our boy bleach blonde top hat rapist.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, honestly, fashion, this might be the best one we've seen.
I'm going to pull back to 9 because I've got to leave room for Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, and Matrix.
I'm looking at who's won this category. We gave Hackers 10 out of 10.
Oh, sure. Fair.
Yeah.
And Count Zero got a 9.5.
I'm gonna go 9 because we have to have a higher ceiling for both the Matrix and Tank Girl.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Burst City got a 10 from Josh too.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
All right. Our final category is a 1 to 5 for some reason. How much did you like it? Did you have a good time watching this movie? It's a 1 to 5 hand raiser scale.
This is tough because if I had watched it alone, it would be a 1.
Yeah,
I did watch it alone, and I don't think I'd go that low. We've watched worse movies.
You're right. You're right. I don't know on a 5-point scale. No, I would go 1 if I'd watched it alone. Yeah, I would.
I'm gonna go 2. So I'm a little bit better than that. I wasn't like suffering like Cyborg. I suffered through Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
Cyborg is a fucking drag, man.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't painful. It was.
I mean,
was
it
a
just
little
sucked.
painful.
It just sucked.
It was a little
wasn't
painful.
like painfully boring.
But it had
or
moments.
anything.
It had moments that made it fun.
It was, by modern standards, mercifully short.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, tight 90.
I'm gonna go 2.
Josh?
I'll go 2.5. I'd probably go 2, except for the sense of camaraderie while we were watching it.
Yeah.
And
Jesus Christ, you like this movie so much.
having Dave pop in the second I said, "Hey, fucking Fishbone's here," because a guy with fishbone hair walked into the screen. It's fun.
2.5 is half the points you can give it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. I forgot.
It's too late. I've already written it down, and it's in.
No, it's a 2.
You are
It's
locked in, buddy.
It's a 2.
Tell you what, we'll make it. I'll take it up to 2.25. You did 2.25.
That's fair.
Okay, fair.
And we're good.
All right. High five.
Don't say I never did you any favors.
No,
Okay.
you're there for me.
Stan, thank you so much for enduring that with us.
It was a genuine pleasure.
Hey, if you want to come back on for a good movie or something,
Yeah, let us know, like, if you have something that you actually like and feel passionate about. I do feel kind of bad because Jeff has been on some of our best, like Ghost in the Shell and Snow Crash are pretty highly regarded things. So
No, this was very fun.
and we're shoveling you the shit, Stan.
yeah, we get this big pile of garbage.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have any great insights into great films. I'm mostly my talent is definitely for shitting on stuff. So
Oh, yeah, me too. That explains why we get along.
Well, it's been a pleasure. You've shat mightily.
well, thank you.
Your continuity insights will live forever.
Now would be, well, first of all, I want to remind our audience that next week we are not going to have an episode because Josh and I are huge football fans and are taking off the Super Bowl. It's a national holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, I just have an engagement and can't record that weekend. But the following weekend we will...
You got engaged? Aw.
Yeah, in 2007.
I remember.
The following weekend or week we will be covering Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick.
Nice.
The novel.
Like,
You should
look
look up his essay on his religious beliefs. It's very
it's
interesting.
a thing.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in like it's genuinely like an intriguing mythology that he lays out. It's really cool.
Awesome. See, you've got stuff to add more than dick jokes or whatever.
Jokes? Yeah.
I also can't do a podcast next weekend because I'll be watching Pam Greer's fake
Bionic Tetas.
Bionic Tetas.
I may cancel all plans going forward.
It's going to make an animated GIF of that scene.
Fair enough.
That's the only place you can see Pam Greer's Tetas.
Yep.
We're gonna see on the Discord in a few days.
Looking
Has
ragged.
anybody seen Stan? He didn't show up. He didn't show up to gaming the other night.
But yes, that's our schedule, and I do want Stan to have a chance to promote his works and social media if he wants to, and anything else he wants.
Thanks. I have dialed back my social media due to Elon Musk.
Due to the hellscape.
Fair.
But I am always on the Discord for Astronomica. If you listen to an episode of Astronomica, you can get a link at the end for our Discord and come hang out with us.
Yeah, and listen to the show too. I know we've hyped it up several times now, but it's real good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's a real good show, and Stan is arguably the most important, like, singular part of that, even though I love everybody who's on it.
Can I tell you my favorite thing Stan does on
the
that show?
driving force? Voices?
No, as a game
Accents.
master, when he just says, I'm rooting for you guys. I feel that because whenever I GM, I'm like, I really want these guys to do good, but also I will kill them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on their side, but I'm not. I'm powerless at the end of the day.
I don't know. Maybe. I think maybe my favorite bit was probably sometime like 6 months ago. Probably, Stan said, "I don't want to break any hearts here, but I really don't give a shit."
Also true. Also true.
It was like, what skill are we going to use to game this out? Some nonsense like, I don't want to break any hearts, but
lead instead of talking.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, making their case.
Yep, it was perfect.
Yep.
He is both the game master and also the audience insert sometimes.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. We did it. Thanks again. Josh, we always sign off. Josh meticulously picks a quote from the film, thinks about it ahead of time, and then we sign off with it. So I'm sure he's got just a wonderful thing picked for us this week.
That is absolutely true. Of course, I do. And I would like to ask, trust him? Yeah, like a vampire giving me a blowjob.
This has been the High Tech Low Life Podcast. Find us on Twitter at Johnny60seconds. Email us at hightechlowlifepodcast@gmail.com. And find us on Patreon at patreon.com/hightechlowlife. Theme music by Nihilor at nihilor.com. Thank you for listening.
Keep it moving. Come on, what are you waiting on? Let's go.
They're trashing our rights, man! They're trashing the fluid data! They're trashing! Trashing! Trashing!
Everybody,
Hike the